Instant noodles, a global comfort food. Cheap, tasty, and ready in just 3 minutes. But have you ever wondered how billions of those curly noodle bricks are made every year? From mixing flour with alkaline salts to steaming. It all starts with simple ingredients: wheat flour, water, salt, and a crucial addition: kanzui, an alkaline mineral water made of sodium carbonate and potassium carbonate. This is what gives instant noodles their signature chewy texture and yellow color. Inside a massive industrial mixer, up to 1,500 kilograms of flour are loaded at once. The machine adds precise amounts of kanzui solution, triggering a chemical reaction that strengthens the gluten bonds in the flour. The dough is mixed until it reaches a crumbly, flaky texture, unlike bread dough. Why? Because this pre-noodle dough must remain firm to survive the intense processing steps ahead. After a few minutes, the dough is transferred via conveyor to a pre-compacting machine, where it's pressed into sheets. At this point, it's not yet a noodle, but the transformation is about to begin. Next, the dough sheet enters a multi-stage roller system. These giant steel rollers gradually press the dough thinner and thinner, down to just 1 millimeter thick. Each pass through the rollers aligns the gluten structure and gives the dough more elasticity. This is crucial for the bouncy texture of cooked noodles. Once thin enough, the sheet enters the cutting machine, where precision blades slice the sheet into thousands of noodle strands per second. But these aren't just straight cuts. The cutter also vibrates slightly, giving instant noodles their classic wavy pattern. The fresh noodles then pass through a separator, untangling them and aligning them in neat bundles. Robotic arms portion the noodles into exact servings, typically around 70 to 90 grams per pack. These bundles are dropped gently into square metal molds, ready for steaming. The noodle molds ride into a high-capacity steam tunnel set at 100 degrees Celsius. For about 1 to 2 minutes, the noodles are steamed to partially cook the dough and fix their shape. This is a key step. Raw dough becomes a noodle. Once out of the steam tunnel, the noodles are quickly cooled and lightly coated with seasoning oil or flavor enhancers, depending on the recipe. At this stage, some variations, like spicy Korean ramen, may be sprayed with chili oil or infused with garlic or sesame flavor. Now partially cooked and seasoned, the noodles are ready for a process that gives them their long shelf life. Deep frying. Inside a long oil bath maintained at around 140 to 160 degrees Celsius, the noodle bricks are fried for exactly 90 to 120 seconds. This rapid frying does 2 things. 1. Dehydrates the noodles down to just 5 to 8% moisture. 2. Creates tiny bubbles inside the noodles, allowing hot water to rehydrate them instantly when cooked later. Each batch of oil is filtered and replaced regularly. After frying, the noodles are cooled by powerful fans and pass through a quality control scanner, which checks size, shape, and color. In some factories, air drying is used instead of frying for healthier versions, but deep frying remains the most common method for traditional instant ramen. The result? A lightweight, golden brown brick that can last for months on the shelf. While noodles are being processed, a separate line produces the flavor packets. Powdered broth, dehydrated vegetables, and spices are mixed in automated blenders. Each portion, usually 5 to 12 grams, is weighed and sealed in foil sachets using form-fill seal machines. Back on the main line, the cooled noodle bricks are loaded into sleeve packs or cups, depending on the product. Cups are made from foam or paperboard, shaped and stacked on automated carousels. A robot drops the noodle brick, flavor packet, and garnish into each cup before it's sealed with a foil lid. Pouch packs go through a horizontal packaging line. Machines wrap the noodles and insert the seasoning sachet, then heat seal the pack and print the expiration date. Each line produces up to 500 packs per minute, a blur of motion, perfectly synchronized. Before shipping, every pack is scanned for contaminants using X-ray or metal detectors to ensure safety. From packaging, the instant noodles are stacked into cardboard boxes by robotic arms. Each box contains dozens of packs or cups, depending on the destination. The boxes are labeled, barcoded, and loaded onto pallets, ready for storage or immediate shipping. Some factories ship out over 1 million packs per day, supplying supermarkets, convenience stores, vending machines, and export markets across the globe. The factory floors are cleaned continuously. Hygiene is strictly monitored. Most workers wear protective suits, hairnets, and masks. Automation minimizes human contact with the product. Within 24 hours of mixing the first batch of flour, a noodle that started as powder is now shelf-stable, sealed, and heading to a shelf near you. Instant noodles were invented in post-war Japan in 1958 by Momofuku Ando, who aimed to solve food shortages with affordable, shelf-stable meals. Today, more than 120 billion servings are consumed every year, especially in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Factories constantly innovate. Healthier recipes, low sodium, whole grain, air-dried instead of fried. New flavors, from kimchi to truffle oil. Sustainable packaging, reducing plastic and switching to biodegradable options. Advanced factories now use AI to monitor production, predict mechanical failures, and reduce waste. Some even adjust cooking times based on humidity or altitude to ensure perfect noodles worldwide. What began as a wartime solution has evolved into a global phenomenon. As we've seen today, instant noodles may be simple to prepare, but making them is anything but simple. Next time you slurp up a bowl of ramen, you'll know the journey it took to get there. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more behind-the-scenes looks at how your favorite foods are made. You're standing in the candy aisle. The shelves are glowing with colors: reds, greens, yellows, purples. Shiny gummies shaped like bears and worms. Marshmallows soft as clouds, jelly beans like little jewels. You grab a bag. It's cheap, it's sweet, it's familiar. But here's the question: do you actually know what you're eating? Before we unwrap the truth, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Here on Discovery 4K, we reveal the untold stories behind the products we use every day, from the science to the secrets no brand wants you to hear. Let's take a deep dive into the world of candy. From gummy bears to candied fruit, what's really inside that innocent-looking snack? Let's start with the most iconic, gummy candy. It's chewy, it's fun, and it's made with something that might surprise you: gelatin. A substance derived from animal bones, skins, and connective tissues. Yes, those adorable gummy bears? They owe their bounciness to collagen extracted from pigs and cows, processed at high temperatures into a protein gel. According to the Gelatin Manufacturers Institute of America, in 2021 alone, Americans consumed over 60,000 tons of gelatin, much of it through candy like gummies, marshmallows, and pudding. For some, this is an example of zero waste, using leftover parts of animals in creative ways. For others, especially vegetarians, vegans, or people with religious dietary restrictions, it raises uncomfortable questions. Shouldn't something so widely consumed be clearly labeled? Now let's go inside the factory. The gummy making process starts with mixing key ingredients: sugar, corn syrup, water, flavorings, food coloring, and gelatin. The mixture is heated until it becomes thick and syrupy. And then it's time to shape it. But here's something that surprises a lot of people. Gummies aren't poured into plastic or metal molds. Instead, most factories still use starch molds, trays filled with cornstarch, pressed with impressions using a stamp. Why? Cornstarch can withstand high heat without warping. It absorbs excess moisture, helping the candy set faster. And best of all, it's reusable, making it cost-efficient and surprisingly sustainable. Once molded, the gummies are cooled at 18 to 24 degrees in a tunnel that avoids temperature shocks, which could cause warping or cracking. But even when cooled, they're sticky. Which brings us to the next step. Ever wonder why gummy candies never stick to each other in the bag? It's thanks to a paper-thin coating, usually made from beeswax, carnauba wax, or vegetable oil. Carnauba, the most common, comes from Brazilian palm leaves. It's edible, colorless, odorless, and makes the candy surface dry, smooth, and visually appealing. In sour or fruit gummies, you might find a coating of crystallized sugar or acid blends instead. This adds a pleasant crunch and intensifies the flavor. And just like that, a sticky blob of syrup becomes a neat, glossy, bite-sized candy. Now let's move on to another sweet favorite, marshmallows. You might think marshmallows are mostly sugar, but here's a fun fact. Marshmallows are actually over 50% air. That's right, you're mostly eating sweetened foam. Here's how it works. 1. Gelatin is soaked in water to bloom. 2. A hot syrup mixture of sugar, corn syrup, and water is heated to 240 degrees Fahrenheit 150 gross. 3. The syrup is slowly poured into the gelatin while being mixed at low speed. 4. Then, the speed increases, 2,000 to 3,500 RPM, whipping in millions of tiny air bubbles. Gelatin acts like a structural net, trapping the air. The result? That soft, fluffy texture we all know. Once whipped, the marshmallow is spread into trays, cooled, cut, and dusted with powdered sugar, mixed with cornstarch to keep it from sticking. And just like that, a few simple ingredients and a lot of air create one of the most iconic sweets in the world. Let's talk about jelly beans, the little candies that sparkle with color. Many people call them fruit candies. But here's the truth. There's no fruit in jelly beans. The inside, mostly sugar, corn syrup, gelatin, and starch. It's bland, chewy, and almost flavorless. The real taste comes from the outside, a shell built layer by layer in rotating drums. Each bean receives 20 to 30 coats of syrup mixed with color and flavor. Between each coat, the candy must dry, a process that takes 4 to 6 days. Once the shell is built, it's polished with a thin layer of beeswax, giving it that porcelain-like shine. Then comes the branding. Logos or symbols are laser printed onto each bean, the final fingerprint of the product. It's funny, really. You're not eating a candy with a coating. You're eating a coating with a candy center. At first glance, candied fruit seems healthier. It has fruit in the name, after all. But once you know the process, you may feel differently. The fruit, often pineapple, citrus peel, cherries, ginger, is blanched in boiling water, soaked in sugar syrup for up to 10 days, with sugar concentration gradually increased to 75%, dried at 50 to 60 degrees Celsius until moisture is below 15%. This isn't preservation, it's transformation. The fruit loses most of its vitamins, fiber, and acidity. What's left is the shape of a fruit, packed with sugar and shelf-stable for months. Technically, it's fruit, but nutritionally, it's candy wearing a fruit costume. Now that we've seen how these treats are made, let's zoom out and ask, who makes them? Most of these candies are manufactured in large-scale factories across the globe, many in developing countries. Despite advances in automation, many steps still rely on human labor. Quality checks, tray loading, spreading, cutting, shaping, polishing. These jobs are often repetitive, underpaid, and rarely recognized by the brands whose names appear on the packaging. So every time you eat a candy, you're tasting not just sweetness, but a complex web of global labor and logistics. Let's talk labels. In the US, ingredients like red 40, yellow 5, blue 1 are allowed in candy. But in Europe, the same colors may carry warning labels, especially for products aimed at children. Some countries even ban certain food dyes linked to hyperactivity. Why the difference? It's partly about scientific thresholds, and partly about cultural attitudes toward risk and transparency. And then there's gelatin, a non-vegetarian, non-halal ingredient that's still not always clearly labeled. Shouldn't people know what they're eating? So let's recap. Gummy candies are made from animal byproducts, marshmallows are mostly air, jelly beans are sugar shells with barely any center. Candied fruits lose most of their nutrition through heavy processing. Each treat carries technology, history, and controversy in every bite. And yet, we still eat them. Why? Because they're nostalgic, because they taste good, because marketing works. But here's the deeper question. If the truth about candy doesn't change how it tastes, should it change how we feel about it? Next time you reach for a gummy bear, a jelly bean, or a marshmallow, pause, Think about what it took to get that candy into your hand. The chemistry, the engineering, the labor. And yes, the hidden parts no one talks about. If you found this breakdown fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more videos from Discovery 4K. We're here to uncover the truth behind the ordinary, because nothing is ever as simple as it looks. See you in the next video. Every day, over 800 million liters of milk are consumed across the globe. But have you ever wondered how it's produced, processed, and bottled on a massive scale? From thousands of dairy farms to industrial-scale factories, this is the fascinating journey of milk, from cow to carton. The journey of milk starts at the dairy farm, where cows are milked 2 to 3 times a day. Each cow produces an average of 25 to 35 liters of milk per day, depending on the breed, feed, and health. Modern dairy farms rely on fully automated milking parlors. Cows step onto rotating platforms where suction cups gently extract milk. These systems track each cow's output, temperature, and milking cycle. To ensure hygiene, the teats are cleaned before and after milking using disinfectant sprays. The milk never touches human hands. Once collected, the raw milk flows through stainless steel pipes into refrigerated storage tanks kept at 4 degrees Celsius, 39 Fahrenheit, to prevent spoilage. Time is critical. Within a few hours of milking, milk is loaded into insulated tankers and transported to processing plants. These stainless steel tankers are designed to maintain the milk at constant cold temperatures, often equipped with real-time monitoring sensors. Before unloading, each batch of milk is tested for temperature, bacterial count, antibiotic residues, and overall quality. If it fails any parameter, the entire batch is rejected. At the factory, milk enters through the receiving bay. Automated systems pump the milk into massive holding silos that can store up to 250,000 liters each. From here, the milk enters a controlled and sequential process of purification, standardization, and packaging. The first step is clarification, removing dirt, debris, and somatic cells using a centrifugal clarifier, spinning at thousands of RPMs. Next comes separation. Milk is fed into centrifugal separators that spin rapidly, separating the lighter fat from the denser skim milk. This allows processors to create different types of milk, whole, semi-skimmed, or skim, by recombining cream in specific ratios. Raw milk has fat globules that naturally rise to the top. Homogenization solves this. The milk is pumped through ultra-high pressure valves that break fat globules into microscopic particles, preventing cream from separating. The result, a smoother, uniform texture with a longer shelf life. Pasteurization is the heart of milk safety. The milk is rapidly heated to 72 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds, then cooled instantly. This process kills dangerous bacteria like Salmonella, Listeria, and E. coli, without altering the taste or nutrients significantly. For ultra-long shelf life, some factories use UHT, ultra-high temperature treatment, 135 degrees Celsius, 275 degrees Fahrenheit, for just 2 to 4 seconds. At each stage, milk is sampled and tested. In-house laboratories analyze everything: fat percentage, protein content, microbiological safety, and even taste profile. High-precision machines, including FTIR analyzers and bacterial incubators, ensure each batch meets national food safety standards. Depending on the product, vitamins like A and D may be added to milk before packaging. This enhances its nutritional profile, especially in regions where deficiencies are common. The process is automated, with exact dosages calibrated to avoid excess or shortfall. Now comes the final step, bottling. Milk flows into ultra-clean filling lines, operating under positive air pressure. Plastic bottles or Tetra Pak cartons are sterilized with steam or UV light before filling. Machines fill, seal, label, and cap over 20,000 bottles per hour. Barcodes and expiration dates are printed using high-speed inkjet printers. Some lines include robotic arms that place sealed cartons into crates for shipping. Finished products are stored in cold warehouses until trucks, loaded with GPS-tracked pallets, deliver them to retailers. From cow to carton, the entire journey takes less than 48 hours, ensuring freshness and safety. Not all milk becomes drinking milk. Some is diverted to make yogurt, butter, cheese, and powdered milk. The leftover whey from cheese making is used for protein powders. Even the fat from skimmed milk finds use in cosmetics or ice cream. Modern factories are also investing in renewable energy, water recycling, and anaerobic digesters to turn cow waste into biogas. Countries like India, the US, and China process hundreds of millions of liters of milk per day. In mega plants, operations run 24/7 with minimal human intervention, relying on sensors, AI, and data analytics to manage volumes at industrial scale. The coordination between farms, tankers, labs, machines, and stores is a marvel of modern supply chains. Next time you pour a glass of milk, remember, behind that simple act lies an immense network of biology, engineering, and logistics. From the gentle rhythm of a cow's heartbeat to the precision of robotic bottling arms, this is how milk is made. Enjoy learning how everyday things are made? Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next fascinating process. This is Michael, a cow so prized that he has his own security guard. He's not just any cow, he's Wagyu. And in the world of premium beef, Wagyu isn't just meat, it's an experience, a symbol of perfection, a work of edible art. But what makes Wagyu so special? Why are people willing to pay thousands of dollars for just one steak? And what goes into raising a single cow that can be worth more than a luxury car? In this documentary, we'll trace the journey of Wagyu from the lush farms of Kobe, Japan, to the dazzling plates of Michelin-starred restaurants. You'll witness its life from birth to butchering, from the auction floor to the final bite. But first, let's clear up a common misconception. All Kobe beef is Wagyu, but not all Wagyu is Kobe beef. Wagyu simply means Japanese cow. But Kobe beef? That's a certified region-specific subset, just like champagne is to sparkling wine. Kobe beef comes exclusively from Tajima strain cattle, born, raised, and slaughtered in Hyogo Prefecture under exacting standards. Think of it this way. Wagyu is your high-end sports car. Kobe is the limited edition Ferrari with hand-stitched leather interiors. What truly sets Wagyu apart is marbling, the intricate webs of intramuscular fat that melt at low temperatures, giving the beef a buttery texture and unmatched umami flavor. It's the result of selective breeding, controlled feeding, and meticulous care. In the next hour, you'll step into the world of Wagyu ranchers, auctioneers, butchers, and master chefs. You'll see calves in their first days of life, cows fed on sake mash and spring water, and the slicing of a steak worth $30,000. This isn't just about meat, it's about legacy, about craftsmanship, about how Japan took something as humble as beef and turned it into a global luxury. Welcome to the world of Wagyu, a world where flavor begins not in the kitchen, but in the barn. Our journey begins in the peaceful countryside of Kobe, Japan. Here, tucked away in the hills, lie farms unlike any other, places where every detail is meticulously cared for and every animal is raised with intention. This is where Wagyu cattle are born. We meet Usunaga-san, a third-generation Wagyu farmer and one of the most respected breeders in the country. When he began, he had just 50 cows. Today, his farm is home to over 500 head of cattle, and each one is treated with almost reverential care. Inside one of the barns, the air is still, and the straw bedding is fresh. Rows of small stalls house the youngest members of the Wagyu lineage, newborn calves, just days old. Each calf is bundled in a custom-made jacket to keep it warm during the colder months. These are the baby babies, as Usunaga affectionately calls them. The calves weigh only 25 to 30 kilograms at birth, about the size of a large dog, but they grow fast. They gain about 1 kilogram per day, he explains. In just 3 to 4 months, they'll be 10 times their current weight. That's nearly 10 times faster than a human baby. But growth is only one part of the equation. What matters more is how they grow. Wagyu cattle are not left to roam freely like typical pasture-raised cows. Their movement is intentionally limited, not to restrict them, but to reduce muscle tension. Less muscle means more fat. More fat means more marbling. Every calf is also monitored individually. Their feeding schedules, health records, and growth rates are tracked daily. Nothing is left to chance. Each one has a numbered yellow tag clipped to its ear, a 10-digit code that can trace the cow's entire life story. When it was born, where it was raised, who raised it, and how it was fed. It's this level of detail that forms the backbone of the Wagyu industry. In Japan, this isn't just farming, it's legacy building. Usunaga leads us to the next barn, where the teenagers live, cattle aged between 1 to 3 years. Their size is astonishing. 1-year-olds already dwarf the average adult human. And by the time they reach maturity, many weigh upwards of 700 kilograms, or over 1,500 pounds. Some have even reached 950 kilograms, nearly a metric ton of living, breathing Wagyu. As we walk past, the cows raise their heads in unison. They're calm, curious, and completely unbothered by our presence. They have personalities, Usunaga says. They get excited when they smell someone new. Despite popular myths, Wagyu cows are not massaged daily or made to listen to Mozart around the clock. It's mostly exaggeration, Usunaga laughs. But what is true is that the environment matters. The cows are raised in peace, away from stress. That's the secret. And perhaps it is. Calm cows produce tender meat, less adrenaline, less tension, more fat. It's basic biology applied with obsessive precision. The water they drink, sourced from local mountain springs, so pure it's bottled for human consumption. They drink better water than most people, Usunaga jokes. In the world of Wagyu, nothing is ordinary. From the moment these calves take their first breath, their path is carefully shaped toward excellence, toward value, and ultimately, toward history. They are born not just to grow, but to become something greater. You are what you eat, and for Wagyu cattle, what they eat is nothing short of gourmet. Back on Usunaga-san's farm, we step into a feeding barn where the air is thick with the scent of fermentation, sweet, sour, and earthy all at once. It's here that the secret to Wagyu's world-famous marbling begins to take shape. Wagyu cattle are not fed like regular cows. Their diet is a carefully engineered formula designed to encourage the development of intramuscular fat, those beautiful white webs of marbling that make Wagyu so tender and flavorful. Each cow consumes around 8 kilograms of feed per day, and that feed is unlike anything you'd find on a typical farm. The core of the diet includes grains such as corn, barley, and wheat, rice bran, which adds texture and energy, soybean meal for protein, and then comes the unique part, alcohol byproducts. Yes, these cows enjoy the leftovers from Japan's most iconic beverages, from sake lees to beer mash to even traces of whiskey and mirin. The feed is blended to enhance digestion, increase appetite, and create the subtle nutty sweetness in the final flavor of the beef. These ingredients are fermented to improve gut health and keep the cattle eating happily. But don't be misled, these cows are not getting drunk. The alcohol is fermented and cooked off, Usunaga explains. If you gave them too much, they'd fall asleep, he chuckles. But we've never had drunk cows here. Instead, the goal is to encourage calm, consistent feeding. Wagyu cattle spend most of their lives in a low-stress environment where their full-time job is simply to eat and rest. Every day. For years. This limited movement, combined with a high-calorie diet, leads to steady fat deposition inside the muscles, instead of on the surface or around the organs like other cattle breeds. The result? That signature Wagyu marbling, the hallmark of luxury beef. Even the water plays a role. Wagyu are given fresh natural spring water, clean, mineral-rich, and cool. The same water humans in the region drink. It sounds excessive, but every element of the environment is part of the equation. Feeding continues over several phases. The first year is focused on basic growth. After that, the cows enter the fattening phase, which can last up to 600 days, almost double the time taken to raise regular cattle. Usunaga shows us how feed is mixed on site, with a giant machine that blends all the ingredients into soft, warm piles of nutrient-dense food. The scent is surprisingly pleasant, a mix of sweet molasses, grains, and something almost fruity. Like fig Newtons and raisins, one visitor remarks. The cows gather around patiently, chewing slowly and deliberately. There's no rush here, no noise, just quiet chewing, the occasional grunt, and the gentle hum of fans overhead. It's in this setting, quiet, consistent, almost meditative, that Wagyu cattle do what they were born to do: gain weight, build marbling, and grow into culinary legends. For Usunaga and others like him, the feeding process is both science and art. We don't just feed the cows, he says, we cultivate the flavor. And it's a flavor unlike any other in the world. Raising Wagyu is one thing, recognizing greatness is another. On the farm, surrounded by hundreds of nearly identical black-coated giants, Usunaga-san stops and points to a specific cow. That one, he says, that one will be special. But how can he tell? There's no computer, no scanner, no DNA test, just his trained eye and decades of experience. Usunaga walks around the cow, paying special attention to the back. The sirloin area, he explains, tells you a lot. A well-developed loin with width, firmness, and a certain curve suggests high intramuscular fat. Not all cows, even among purebred Wagyu, will develop that signature marbling. Spotting potential early is key. Weight also matters. On average, a full-grown Tajima Wagyu, the bloodline behind Kobe beef, can reach 700 kilograms, over 1,500 pounds. But the true champions have gone as high as 950 kilograms. Still, it's not just about mass, it's about proportion. Bone structure, muscle tone, posture, even behavior. Usunaga gently guides one of his cows with a lead rope. It doesn't pull or resist, it follows calmly. Temperament plays a role too, he says. Stress affects marbling. In the world of Wagyu, where perfection is measured in delicate threads of fat, the difference between good and legendary often starts long before the animal reaches the butcher. It starts here, with a glance, a gut feeling, and a lifetime of intuition. This is not guesswork, this is craft. From the quiet pastures, the journey now moves to one of the most exclusive markets in the world, the Wagyu Auction House. Located in the heart of Hyogo Prefecture, this facility is not open to the public. Only certified buyers, brokers, and specialists are allowed inside. To enter, you must be invited and connected. We're guided in by Yamamoto-san, a seasoned buyer with decades of experience. Every day, he says, hundreds of Wagyu are sold here. Some fetch prices that rival sports cars. The room is a mix of tradition and high technology. Buyers sit behind keypads, ready to place silent electronic bids in a system as fast as it is fierce. But what are they bidding on? Not live cattle, but carcasses. The cows have already been slaughtered and carefully cleaned. Now, each carcass is displayed, cut in half, revealing the cross-section of marbled beef. It's a visual feast for experts. Two main criteria determine value. Yield grade A, high, B, average, or C, low. Marbling score 1, poor to 5, exceptional. The Holy Grail, A5, the absolute best of the best. Each carcass has stamps, tags, and certifications to prove its origin, lineage, and quality. One particular cow stands out. It has everything: size, symmetry, and dazzling marbling. This is the reward cow, the highest-rated Wagyu of the day. Only one wins this title each auction. The bidding escalates quickly. 1 million yen, 2 million, 3 million, finally sold. Behind every winning bid is not just a transaction, but a celebration of craftsmanship. And for that cow, the next chapter is just beginning. The prized cow has been sold, but its journey is far from over. Now, it enters the hands of a master craftsman, the butcher, or as many call him, the meat artist. In a temperature-controlled room that feels more like a laboratory than a butcher shop, precision is everything. The butcher wears multiple layers of hygienic clothing. His tools are surgical, his movements rehearsed. Before cutting, he studies the carcass. Each line of marbling, each muscle contour, tells him where to begin. He starts by trimming the thick outer fat, revealing the glowing white and red mosaic beneath. From there, he isolates premium cuts: tenderloin, ribeye, sirloin, preserving as much marbling as possible. But this isn't just about portioning, it's about presentation. The butcher uses Wagyu fat to shape the cuts, arranging them like flower petals. Each platter looks more like an art installation than raw meat. Nothing is wasted. Every cut, no matter how small, is handled with care. For Wagyu, every gram has value. This is not just processing, it's honoring. A tribute to the animal, the farmer, and the centuries of craft that made it possible. From the butcher's table, Wagyu now enters its final and most spectacular stage, the kitchen. At Wagyu Mafia, an exclusive members-only restaurant in Tokyo, Chef Hama, known as the Prince of Kobe beef, prepares 3 extraordinary dishes. First, Wagyu sushi. Thin slices of raw A5 Kobe beef are placed gently atop rice seasoned with sake. Topped with sea urchin, caviar, and brushed with aged soy sauce, it's a one-bite explosion of umami. Second, yakiniku, grilled beef tongue. A rare delicacy cut with surgical precision, scored for texture, and grilled over Japanese charcoal. Finished with only a pinch of salt, it's smoky, tender, and impossibly flavorful. Finally, the katsu sando, a thick Kobe beef tenderloin worth over $3,000, is breaded with Japanese milk breadcrumbs, flash-fried to golden perfection, and placed between slices of pillowy milk bread. Trimmed, sliced, and served like treasure. Each dish showcases a different expression of Wagyu's greatness: raw delicacy, grilled richness, fried indulgence. Every bite is a reminder. This is not just food, this is history, craft, and culture on a plate. If you enjoyed this behind-the-scenes journey from farm to fine dining, hit that subscribe button to explore more stories like this, where craftsmanship meets culture, and where food tells a deeper story.